I'm Kiera Morgan. Thanks for joining me for Kiera's Coastal Adventures. We're having fun today in Depot Bay, where we are joining Toby Wynn and the group from Kid Zone and ODF&W and some wonderful folks who are fin clipping salmon. So Toby, tell us a little bit about this great program.
Well, this is our annual fin clipping event here up in Depot Bay at the water reservoir, where there's a small salmon hatchery that's been here for many, many years. And our involvement with Neighbors for Kids in the Kid Zone is that it ties perfectly into science and fisheries and ocean literacy, and the fact that the kids can learn and participate in this life cycle of fish, a fish that we all love and eat, the salmon. So what happens is they bring in about 20,000 eggs each year, and then there's a process where they raise these little eggs to become, every different stage of their life to the little fish, and to the point now where they're at. Our kids feed them along the way, which is very fun for them. They take field trips up here throughout the year and work with the Depot Bay Salmon Enhancement Commission through the City of Depot Bay and local volunteers. And what they do today is the fin clipping. So they're going to clip these fins in a certain way, and then shortly thereafter they'll schedule the annual release of the fish out into the Pacific Ocean. So it's kind of neat for kids this early to kind of become the next generation of stewards, taking care of their environment, taking care of their fish, putting the fish into the ocean, and the fish return and we catch them. And it's just this neat process that we're very, very proud to be part of. And we like to work close in partnership with the city, especially for educational, enriching activities like this. And there should be a few Kid Zone kids there, and maybe more to come today.
Howdy, my name is Vaughn Robison. The Depot Bay Salmon Enhancement Commission is an entity of the City of Depot Bay, kind of like how some cities, ours included, have a Parks Commission, Public Safety Commission. Depot Bay is fortunate enough to have a Salmon Enhancement Commission. The commission was developed in 1988 under declaration of emergency by the City of Depot Bay, and was developed to amplify the economic, ecological, and sociological benefits that salmon have to our community. So we partnered with the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife Salmon and Trout Enhancement Program to help supply us with salmon eggs that we hatch here on the banks of North Depot Bay Creek every year. So we have 4 what are called hatch boxes. They mimic a red, which is the natural nesting ground of a salmon. So we received 20,000 eggs from the Department of Fish and Wildlife's Trask River Hatchery. They're transported to these hatch boxes. We don't have any eggs in them because that process generally happens in November. But every day we have volunteers who come up and we'll pick out the dead eggs and we'll count them and keep track of our mortality rates.
So what happens from here?
From the hatch boxes, so the eggs hatch, the fish swim down into this natural red. They'll hang out here for a couple of months, and then we transport them to a floating net pen in the city reservoir, and I'll walk you right up there. Okay, so after they make their way out of the hatch boxes, we put them in this floating net pen in the city reservoir, and then every first or second Saturday in July, we clip their adipose fin to indicate that they are a hatchery-raised fish. That allows them to be harvested in the sport industry. And it also helps other river systems who don't have hatchery programs track whether or not our fish are getting into theirs.
Now, does that hurt them?
So they're given some anesthesia so it doesn't hurt them. My analogy is it's kind of like getting your ears pierced.
All right, let's go take a look at the fin clipping process. So these are some of your volunteers that you have fin clipping?
Yes, we're estimating that we have between 50 and 70 volunteers here today. What they're helping with is the fish go in a solution that anesthetizes them, calms them down a little bit, and allows us to handle them to clip off their adipose fin with cuticle scissors. From there, we put them in a solution that allows them to wake up nice and naturally, and then we dump them back into the net.
Are you having fun? Yeah. How long have you guys been doing this? This is your first year? How exciting. You think you're going to come back and do it again? All right.
That's what we aim for.
Oh, here's more fish.
We have a pretty devout group of volunteers. We have people who have been doing this for 30 years, 18 years. And those people are just the backbone of this operation and truly, in my opinion, the backbone of the community.
So this is still around when you get older? You're going to bring your kids up here too? Yeah?
Well, we're not going to let it go anywhere.
So it's going to be here.
Yep.
That's incredible. So, okay, so let's watch you clip one of these.
Perfect form.
Yay!
So we put the fish who have been clipped into this fish slide. They take a nice little ride back into the net pen, and then from there we'll release them. So generally we'll release them in one of or two areas: North Depot Bay Creek, South Depot Bay Creek. Both of those creeks flow into the harbor of Depot Bay. This year we're actually putting them back into the net pen, and in a couple of weeks we're releasing them all into the South Creek on the south side of the harbor.
And now we have Christine from ODF&W. Christine, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
My name is Christine Clapp. I'm the Salmon and Trout Enhancement Program Biologist for the Mid-Coast. I work out in Newport, and the goal of the Salmon and Trout Enhancement Program, it was enacted back in 1981, and the goal is to get the public involved in fisheries management. And so the Depot Bay Coho program here is a perfect example of getting our public involved with fisheries. And this is a program, this is one of the oldest step programs in the state. Started in the early 80s, and they get 20,000 eggs from Trask Hatchery every winter, rear them in North Depot Bay Creek, and then into the reservoir in a net pen. And right now we are clipping those juvenile fish that will then overwinter in sometimes North Depot Bay Reservoir, sometimes in South Depot Bay Creek, and then they will go out to the ocean as smolts the following spring.
I'm Beanie Robinson. I've been involved with the Depot Bay Salmon Enhancement Program since its inception in about 1981, and on behalf of the Salmon Enhancement Commission, we'd like to thank all the volunteers for helping us make this a success.
So Vaughn, thanks so much for taking time out of an obviously very busy afternoon here at the fin clipping event in Depot Bay. Is there anything else that you wanted to add?
Just thanks for coming out. Thanks to all of our volunteers. If you want to be more involved with the program, and contact us on the City of Depot Bay's website, or find the Depot Bay Salmon Enhancement Commission on Facebook or Instagram.
Perfect. Thank you so much for everything that you do, that your dad's done, and that these future generations are going to do to help our beautiful Pacific Northwest and our salmon.
Thanks for sharing it.